Hello. Thank you for joining the podcast today. Today, I am so excited to have our inaugural podcast on the show with my very own business partner, Tigger. Tigger, I just want to get started right away and ask a couple of questions. I know a lot of people in the community know you. You've really, done so much to connect different individuals. And I just want to start with asking you, tell me a little bit about what you've been doing in the community and tell me about Deal Connectors and how you got started with that.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking me to be your first guest on your podcast. And I appreciate you and all the work that we're doing together and look forward to a very successful, long lasting relationship with our corporate rental business. But yes, I have been in the community for a little over 2.5 years now and found my lane in the financing and private money lending, hard money lending lane, as well as your corporate rental business. And then a podcast that I've recently launched of woo woo and real estate involving intuition and how that pertains to us personally. And when we do investments into real estate, on how we really need to listen to these body cues that maybe we don't listen to and get ourselves into trouble when it comes to risk. But yes, I have been in the community and a Gator for, like I said, a little over 2.5 years now, and am very well known. And as a big connector networker, I love to help others because I know what it was like to not have people who were leaders and busy being leaders in the communities and not being able to help me when I asked for some help and feeling like I was bugging people. And then to maybe not even get answered in return, right? So I totally know what it was like to become a newbie and scared in knowing what to do, what not to do, feeling like I had analysis paralysis because I should have, needed to look into all of the training modules before I could take action. Just all the what ifs or the different views of being a new person and how to approach someone, you know just wanting to offer my assistance for anyone that was willing to help me. And then you would find a few that would definitely reach out and help you along the way. Well, when I first started, I did a 2 week little stint of becoming a dispo manager, and then was invited to come on and be into a team of 150 that was direct to agents, which was a new strategy that was up and coming over a year and a half ago. So, I kind of had the shiny object syndrome where I was like, "Ooh, that sounds good. So let's go do this." Well, I did the direct to seller project for about 6 months and realized this wasn't going anywhere. It went from 150 people down to like 12 people. And then finally, I found my lane in the Gator community, helping connect private money lenders or gators to borrowers. So I got into that for a while and still am, just not as a connector. I actually joined a brokerage recently for having access to billions of dollars to help people with bridge loans, new construction, fix and flips, and acquisitions. So if anybody needs a loan, feel free to reach out to me. But then meeting you in, I guess we talked last December, and maybe we had a Zoom in January when I was in visiting my kids in Arizona. And you had talked to me about all the things that you recently have done. And then you just recently quit or retired from your position, which was amazing. And then we were supposed to have a meetup at the tri-state. It was Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois. And I ended up getting sick, but you still kept me involved in doing some, collective work together. And that's when you approached me with the idea of the first 1 and 2 bedroom corporate housing, knowing that you had a full-fledged corporate housing business already going. I knew that this was a great opportunity to bring to the communities that we are involved in helping those that have vacancies from their long-term rental properties or their short-term rental properties. And we all know that the business of the Airbnb sector is getting pretty tight these days, and people are, trying to get rid of their Airbnbs. So here we are willing to come in and help those who have these properties that aren't being rented because of the laws that have changed. And so we also then moved into the area of FEMA, being FEMA registered, and are in our process of becoming a government contracting license with the government to be able to do bigger scale types of properties, and then also in the construction world. So we have quite a bit of work ahead of us to do, and I'm excited for where that's going to go. But then, to bring up the woo woo and real estate podcast, yes, it also involves all things mysticism, spiritual journeys of people having their awakenings and understandings, the different life cycles. And, I'm a firm believer in us being a one source consciousness, and once we pass away, that we still live on. Even though we are in spirit, we still are very much alive in spirit as a soul. And I'm a psychic medium in training, and I'm learning to hone in my skills, and that's what my podcast will also be talking about, is the psychic mediumship, and me wanting to help those who have the longing for or the need for healing messages from somebody who has passed on, because sometimes we don't get to say goodbye, or we're not with the loved ones that we have had with us all our life, and then they have passed and we weren't able to communicate with them. So that will also include with people buying real estate who are investing in properties that maybe they're doing these fix and flips, and they are now, encroaching on a spirit perhaps that have been living in the property, and you're starting to stir things up. So it's a cool also idea to talk about all things paranormal in investment properties or houses. I bought a house that I lived in that I didn't know was haunted, and my kids and I have stories for days that we
Oh
talk
my
about.
gosh.
So it was, I absolutely, that's my passion, and I will definitely be bringing a lot more to the table with the woo woo and real estate stuff. So yeah.
Amazing. And no, I know you just had Jamil on your last episode, and exciting things going on there already.
Yes, and we were just recently at Owners Club retreat in Boston, and I actually got to have Tim Story say that he would come on my podcast. I have yet to get a hold of him, but I'm going to definitely keep trying. I'm not giving up. So, he said, "Hey, just DM me." So you know where that may go, into the DM abyss, right? So, but yes, exciting things to come up. I'll have special guests regularly. I'll be able to do readings, provide free readings for people with various interviewees that I will have on the show. And yeah, I just look forward to growing all of that with everybody involved.
Amazing. Now, okay, so you've been in the community for about 2.5 years. You started Dill Connectors. You kind of walked through all of that a bit. I know for myself and probably a lot of folks in the community, our community, that the community itself has been highly valuable. What have you found to be most powerful about the community itself?
It's funny you mentioned that. I just actually had somebody reach out, and Pace talks about this all the time about cloning ourselves, and
Hmm.
having our social media presence, being able for people to reach out to us. I had a gentleman on Friday reach out to me and just said, "Hey, I just saw you on one of Pace's videos. Can we talk? I'm thinking about joining SubTo."
Wow.
And I was like, 100% yes, I would love to talk to you about SubTo. And we got on a call. It was a great call. And I just basically talked to him about the 80/20 rule, right? We all join things like a gym membership. And a gym membership, we pay monthly. Whether we go or not, the
Hmm.
gym owner loves that. They don't care if we show up and do our workouts, right? They're just collecting 22.95 every month to be able to, walk into their building. And so imagine that, however many times membership, there, however many members there are in their facility. Well, it's kind of like the same thing here. And he talked about joining other communities. And I said, yes, I will tell you, you may have joined other communities, but you will never have joined a community like ours in SubTo. Not one time will you ever find a person who is the mentor of this community to invite you personally to their personal home. I said, I've been invited to Pace's personal home in Arizona and in Montana. What other mentor,
Mhm.
real estate guru has done that? You think Grant Cardone's going to ask you to his house? Yeah, all these, Cody Sanchez, she's not inviting us to her personal residence, right?
Absolutely. I was just at Pace's house last week.
It's truly a I mean, just think about that. I don't know if I would invite people to my personal house, right? It's just it's just a little weird, but that's the community that Pace brings to the table when you join SubTo. And I told them, I said, "Hey, you're paying for it. So it's well, you get what you put into it, what you take out of it, right? So if you're going to put your time and effort into working and showing up and doing work, and just helping others or offering to assist other people in connecting someone to a deal or a buyer to a property, you're going to get recognized, you're going to stay involved, you can't help but want to stay in and be more active in your deals and projects. And so he's Canadian, which is another thing. I have just actually Matt Pokman in our community has brought me to 3 or 4 people that are Canadians, and
Mhm.
I'm working with them. Like I don't know what it is, but thank you, Matt. Shout out to Matt for that. But all these Canadians that I'm helping to understand, some of the financing, private money lending, connecting, and doing some really great things. In fact, another girl that I'm working with, she's Canadian, Riley Walsh, and I and Shirag Patel are
Mhm.
working on affordable housing in Dade City, Florida. So I helped connect those two. Riley is now an equity partner in the business, and the things that Shirag is going to do for Dade City, Florida is going to be amazing. Not to mention, just he has philanthropists willing to donate materials to these tiny homes that he's going to be putting on.
Wow.
So yeah, it's definitely a community where you never thought for 1 second that you would be involved in so many different people's projects. And I don't even recognize myself. My friends don't even recognize me now from being in this community, right? So I think he signed up. Actually, he had a meeting with the Sub2 guy Friday night. And so, hey, I'll get a little affiliate referral bonus for that. But it's truly from my heart. And it's something that I would recommend to anyone that's looking to get involved with the communities.
So true. And, I think so much of it really does come back to the person who joins the community and that, if they're taking action, if they're, avoiding doing the work, then, that's where people don't have the breakthroughs that they're looking for. But if they do the work, they do the things that others aren't willing to do, then they find success. This truly is the most supportive community. I mean, I've heard again and again while we were in Boston and other times, people talking about how the community really feels like family to them, and it's so true. And that's no accident. It's been curated to be that way.
That brings up to the point of the deal connector community that I started. Jay-Z Zendigis and I started the deal connectors group along with Rick Beam and Kevin Day.
Mhm.
And it just started to talk about the things that we did as getting our first deals. And again, talking about the analysis paralysis and, me thinking that I had to know it all before I could take action. We just basically told our story and helped others to start taking action. Go into the Facebook group and go look for a buyer for Texas or something to that effect, just to take action. And that's what started the 18-minute a day challenge with Pace. And that's why we got started on this. And we've been going strong every month since January of this year on being go givers back to our community. I think we have like 650 people in our little Facebook group that regular, probably about anywhere from 15 to 30 people join us regularly every other Thursday, just so that we can share deals, share ideas, share money, share losses, share our mistakes. We admit when, it's like we're not any step further. We're just right alongside with everybody else, growing together. And if we can help somebody else learn from our mistakes or our wins, we're going to definitely put that out there and be go-givers back to the communities as well.
So true. And, it's interesting because I see folks in the community, yes, 100% sharing their successes, but also sharing the challenges and helping others avoid some of the things that they might have run into. So you really can't overstate the importance of that piece of it. The education, of course, is incredible. I mean, I find my own mindset being expanded every single day. To that point, just thinking about, and not to put you on the spot, but, we've both had this utterly amazing experience of Owners Club. You mentioned Tim's story. I mean, there have been so many just amazing speakers and other mentors that we've been exposed to, and had thanks to Pace the opportunity to really talk to his inner circle in so many different ways. What would you say would be one of the most powerful things that you've learned as part of Owners Club?
I think what it's done is giving us permission to have many things on our plate. Sometimes people say that you have to focus on one lane and stay there until you get really good at it. I think it's a visionary thing. It's a visionary thing that people have so many different ideas and are involved in so many different projects. And when we feel like somebody telling us that we have to focus on one thing only, that like really gets us a little off kilter, right? Like we're like, no, but I have all these other things that I can do. I think for me, being involved with the Owners Club, yes, it is basically a mastermind group, and it's a large group of 400. I say large, but it's small. It's a large group of 400 other investors that are like-minded. And I'm going to go with my woo-woo stuff again, but I totally believe that we were all put in this community and at this Owners Club for reasons, and we were all meant to really be here and experience what we are. And your vibe really does attract your tribe. And so many people that I have been talking to talk about the different woo-woo situations or synchronicities that we all have and we express when we start opening our mouth. And that's something that Tim Story, Pace, Jamil has also been allowing me to find my shout again, find what really makes me happy and passionate about. Yes, real estate does for me, but more so the woo-woo stuff really is it. This last time in Boston really gave me permission to be okay with not having a real estate idea to focus on, but what to be known as, but also be involved in real estate investing. So I think that was one of the biggest takeaways for me this past time. I know we grow and learn each and every time. And, yeah, it does look like it's a lot of fun, but man, it's a lot of work that we're doing on these retreats. It's not just fun and la la and vacation time. No, we're putting in the work, and we're being exposed to what Pace brings to us. We're getting access to his personal employees, the people that are behind the scenes that we have access to be able to grow our business. So 100%.
Absolutely. And, really kind of going back to the limitless one, we really are only limited by ourselves because, we're having so many things laid out so well for us. And it's like, it really, it's just us having to take action and doing the hard work and things like that. So, such a great takeaway from this today. I really appreciate it. I am excited to share with a larger audience a lot of what you shared today, and would love to be on your podcast sometime soon, as well as others in Owners Club. And if you would like to share with how folks can reach you on Instagram or other different ways, and I'll certainly be able to include that in the description as well.
Absolutely. And it's just simple. It's at SubTo, SUBTO, Tigger, TIGGERTOO, SubTo Tigger 2 on both Instagram and YouTube. Facebook is Tigger Huchel or Tigger Piper Huchel. Long story on that one, but yes.
Excellent. Well, I'll be sure to include the links as well to make it easy for folks to find you. Thanks again for joining today. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Reagan.
Bye.
Appreciate it.